They know the language doing quantum computing. Is there any quantum? Oh, line. Okay, bring that in. Oh, this is what he told me how great Linux was. Yeah. And then about 6 months later, he says, "Bob, I can't do fucking anything. Linux doesn't do it. It's too slow. Blah blah blah." And then he was always looking for a better system, and maybe he did find another system and layered on because he was always trying to one up the Android me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even with he got mad at me because I got a Mac laptop and a regular PC. He goes, "What are you doing that for?" Like, and I said, "Because this fucker doesn't crash all the time, and I just need to do this thing."
I have to keep up with my email.
Yeah, one thing I need to do. And then he just, "Well, what are you doing that for? You want to get on a more stable system? Stop buying into the whole thing like you're making him a villain." I'm like,
trying to be superior. Don't buy into what they're giving us.
Yeah, this whole thing, he was constantly fighting. Yeah, it's really...
They're always doing it all wrong. Even the evergreen's out there, I got it all fucking wrong.
He obsessed and was willing to not only manipulate me, but anybody around him that got in the way of his one last shot.
How did you meet him?
I met him when I was doing an interview for some UFO channel. Not that guy's.
Not Ted Lohman.
Different one. This German lady. She introduced me to him and bragged about him. She said, "You got to meet this guy," and he had to be next door. And I met him, and when we were.
That's 99 2000 in L.A.
No, in Tucson. That was way before.
So when was that?
96.
That's how early you met him?
Yeah.
But you became roommates in 2000, 2001.
I knew him for a while, and I talked to him when he was back and forth in Tucson, and then eventually...
he came to L.A.
He came to L.A.
And it was probably because of you. You were someone who was in the industry that he's, I have someone there that'll believe in me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you picked up from once
I knew
he got out
would
of jail.
sell. It did, honestly. I knew his stuff would sell.
Yeah.
It did.
But he couldn't sell.
Yeah, he can do shit. He can do anything.
He ruined every meeting.
He drove me crazy because he, do this, I'm talking. He wanted me to run around and do all the things, and then
And you believed him in the early years. You believed that. You thought he was worth it.
Yeah, I thought he was worth it, and Oliver Stone did take a meeting with us. He did manage to, but every time it would be like, okay, let's go to the next step. Nothing would ever get done.
He couldn't do the actual hard-on, concentrated work because he was always monitoring the news and complaining about the Android meme. That was his main struggle. Always complaining about what was going on in the present.
Yeah.
About Iraq or Bush or Gore.
And I thought, is that an act or is he really doesn't want to be...
Yeah.
I couldn't tell, really. So he wanted to do all these great things. He gave me, I have a thing like this thick of his whole plan to restructure the, this dream of restructuring the film industry and making it a healing tool.
That's right, that whole embed stuff. Subliminal embed. Yeah.
Oh, that was his big...
Did he write all that, you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah,
he wrote all that.
Yeah, I have to find it, but again, he gets stuck in his thing.
Yeah. Here's what happened. In '85, he met Tony Robbins, and he did whatever his course was. Then he learned neurolinguistics. Then he learned how to be a hypnosis person. And he did that, but he couldn't actually do it.
Which is
where he learned it. But then he mixed in my media, Android meme talk, and developed a technical deprogrammer based on early MK Ultra, neurolinguistics, Tony Robbins, everything that he had thought in psychological terms, he then made in that report.
Yeah.
But it was just a condensation of his thinking. It had nothing to do with fucking reality. Could not work. And that's why he hated me, because he knew that yes, it's a great idea, but if Bob looked at this, Bob would poke the holes in it, and I wasted my time. So I'm going to avoid Bob. I'll talk to Bob once a year.
He was always wanting to avoid you.
Yeah.
So he's going to come back and ruin my high.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
He's like, it would always be one or the other.
Because he sincerely was wrestling with McLuhan. He wrestled with McLuhan since the 60s. He always wanted to work with McLuhan. And he had this, when I met him in '79, he said, when I quit the EVO, I quit. Because I said, Eric McLuhan must be here in New York City. I got to find him. And I want to work with him and McLuhan. And he didn't know that Eric was in New York City doing the dual line. He just did not know how to get in touch. Because he was too much of a street person, didn't know how to connect with universities. So he wrestled with McLuhan, or he met me in '79. First time he met somebody who explained McLuhan and all his interests and do it right. And so we became friends. And then we went out and visited him, and then we stayed in touch. And then
that's how it started.
Yeah, it started over McLuhan. It was always the issue. That's why he would go, Bob's a genius, meaning McLuhan. No, he's not a genius. Because what was his role in relation to that? It's like you asking me now, what are we going to do if everything's disappeared? What's my relationship to that? Should I promote this little fucking gadget?
Right.
And I'm looking at you saying, well, that's rather selfish. I mean, everybody's disappearing. You want to survive yourself. That's a normal human thing. But I focus on the big thing and not so much on ourselves.
Right.
Walter would do the big thing and then suddenly decide he could be the genius and do it, but he couldn't do it because he would fall back on the big
Yeah,
level.
it's always Dean.
Back, big, micro, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And
That's the narcissism kicking in.
his own,
Yeah.
it's your own personal conditioning and problems and neuroses come in as you confront the everything disappeared thing.
Yeah.
So we got
Yes.
whole cultures doing that now. They're freaking out. There's nothing there. Okay, we're going to bomb it. Even though there's nothing there. And we got bombed by somebody that doesn't exist. Al Qaeda.
Right.
There's a British documentary I saw in New Zealand on YouTube. They proved the BBC that there's no Al Qaeda. At least within journalistic, there is Al Qaeda, but they proved that within known data there isn't anything.
There's nothing there.
Yeah, because there are a bunch of people running around on their own, and we'll just call it Al Qaeda, but it's just a lot of nuts percolating little
Let me
groups.
go get my phone.